Good afternoon to you all, my viewers and my listeners this minute, depending on where you're watching this video from. I greet you. I want to ask a question. Please do not scream. It concerns you, it concerns me, right? And as you come across this video, please share. You don't know who might be interested in this topic, all right? But simply, before I discuss further, I want to ask a question. I want to simply ask this question, and you can all drop your comments on the comment section. What's your view? Now, the question is this: at what point does divorce happens in marriage? At what point does divorce happens in marriage? In my own opinion, there are several points before the physical divorce we see. There are several measures, there are several steps, there are several scenarios that might have happened in the marriage unseen. Those ones happens behind the scene. These are psychological, physical, emotional trauma that either the male or the female has had to pass through in the marriage before coming out to say, I don't want again, which we call divorce. Nobody, be it the wife or the husband, can just wake up one morning and just say, I don't want this marriage anymore. Nobody does that. There must be some things that had piled up for that person to take that decision. And at the end of this video, I'm going to be asking a question, but everybody would have to answer on his or her own on the comment section. Now, my opinion one is this: you see the point where every love turn into hate. The point where every atom of love you feel for this person has turned into hatred. You no longer feel any single love for this person. It has reached the point of divorce. Because you see, at this point, you can kill that person if you have the opportunity to. So some people rather live quietly and in peace so as not to have a stain of somebody's blood on their hands. The point where every love has turned into hate. Another point is the point where you no longer feel safe with your spouse. You no longer feel safe with each other. Like your life is being threatened anytime you find yourself around this person. So you will say, I rather use my legs to walk out than die in the marriage. Marriage is for better, for worse, yes, but it's not a do or die affair. I'm not saying anybody should leave his or her marriage. But to the question we asked, at what point does divorce happen in marriage? It is my own opinion I'm dropping and I'm sharing. All right? The point where you no longer feel safe around your partner, around your spouse, around each other. It could be the man not feeling safe around his wife, and he will say, I can no longer continue, please go. It could be the wife no longer feeling safe around her partner, and she will say, I can no longer stay, I have to leave. It is vice versa. As women are suffering in marriage, some men too are also suffering in marriage. As some women are suffering in marriages, some men are also suffering in marriages. If you see what some women are doing to some men out there, it will be a topic for another day. Then another point is, when you start finding companionship outside your home, you feel free to talk to every other person except your spouse. You feel free to share your problems with every other person except your spouse. At that point, you have already divorced. It's just remaining for you to come out and say we are no longer together. Another point is the point where you have become roommates instead of soulmates. At that point where you see yourselves as roommates instead of soulmates, you don't gist, you don't talk, except for greetings. Good morning, good afternoon, giving yourselves cold attitude. You have cold attitude towards each other. Maybe you have children between you two, and your children are watching every step of these things happening. By the time you begin to see yourselves as roommates at this point, you no longer care what anyone amongst you does anymore. You don't care. If you like, go out. If you like, don't come back. If you like, eat. If you like, don't eat. See, some roommates even care for each other more than they see their spouse at this point. So if you are in any way going through some of these phases I'm talking about, please work on your marriage. If you still can. Work on your marriage if you still can. If any of these things, it's not like all these points I'm dropping must be present in one, but by the time you see approximately 5 of these points in your marriage now, know that marriage is no longer in good condition. Please start working on it so it won't break. Try your best. It is better to say I did all I could. It is better to say I tried, but it did not work. Another point is when the effort made for the marriage to work is one-sided. I don't know if you get me. When it is only one person among the two involved is making much effort for the marriage to work, it's not going to work, because it will be as if one person is forcing the other to do what he or she don't want to, or is not interested in doing. It's not going to work. It must be a collective effort for marriage to work. Both the husband, both the wife, there's no superiority when it comes to efforts. It must be a collective effort for a marriage to work. Once that effort is one-sided, you have lost that marriage. That marriage is long gone. So if you are watching this video and you are leaving the effort of your marriage to your spouse alone, please make amends. Please make amends, because it's not going to work. It will break. It will break. And another point is disrespect.